clearly where they were firing at us from here.
A year ago in Afghanistan, the Taliban surprised everyone by launching a spring offensive.
Prongs are on that house. That's where we were shooting from yesterday.
It was an attempt to take back their former stronghold in Kandahar.
Hold the ground there! Take that first crew across! Get across!
NATO forces counterattacked. And through a summer and fall of heavy fighting, finally drove the Taliban back, reportedly killing up to 1,000 fighters. Outpost north of Kandahar. This is the command post of Forward Operating Base Martello. There are 120 Canadian troops here, the only NATO soldiers between here and Kandahar city, 120 kilometers away. Six Afghans were seen on this ridge 3 kilometers away. The Canadians suspect they are spying on the base. After a summer of combat, this small Canadian force had been sent here to guard the main road to Kandahar. Their intelligence says hundreds of Taliban are still operating in the hills surrounding their base. Even with their heavy artillery, air cover and high-tech surveillance, these soldiers feel threatened.
Where'd that shepherd go?
Oh, he's still down there with his flock.
What's that? They got them?
Intercepted Taliban radio traffic suggests there were injuries from the shelling, but no one knows for sure. Back at Fort Martello, the Canadians are waiting for a convoy from Kandahar with supplies for the village of Elbak.
Also, another thing to keep in mind is the jingle truck that's coming up as well in the next convoy. So once that comes up, again, we're just going to have to get out to the village. So
Nicola has promised the villagers she'll repair their water pumps.
If I can accomplish all those 3 things within the next 2 weeks, my mission is complete.
Very good.
But when the convoy does arrive, there's a snag. A sniffer dog smells explosives on one of the civilian trucks.
Mike, somebody want to grab him? I'll start getting some of his guys to do this stuff. No! 1 minute.
The dog picked up a scent.
So he's going to have to turn around, drive back to CAF with a full load, and then explain to his contractor back in CAF why his truck's not unloaded.
That's the driver of the Blue Sea can. They decided they didn't want any of the trucks to come in, even though they only hit off the one, so.
I trust the dog, and if the dog says that there's something there at the dog, and I'll trust the dog.
Just a big piss off, you know, being told over the past couple days that this stuff is coming up and, you know, you want to spread good word to the people of the village that not going to have enough time to sort out the stuff and it's just going to be one big friggin' mess.
Without new spark plugs and spare parts, Nicola cannot deliver on her promise to fix the water pumps. So Martello's commander decides to send out a patrol into enemy territory to go shopping.
Really low-key day. So we've got a patrol going out. PRT will be going with that. And gotta find some spark plugs. Gotta, at least somebody must know something about where to get parts. All right. We now have authority to spend money. So that patrol goes out tomorrow. Rough time for that, Ornahan?
We'll probably have a briefing in here about 08.
Okay.
The spark plug mission involves a platoon of 20 men in 4 armoured vehicles, driving 100 miles each way down a highway that is sown with Taliban mines and often attacked by suicide bombers.
This particular platoon here on the line and myself, we were on our way back to CAF and we got hit by a suicide bomber. And the bomber hit Captain Pappin's vehicle and showered my vehicle with all kinds of stuff. That particular incident keeps replaying over in the mind. With the guys who have been wounded, they've been wounded before in combat in the same spot.
The Canadians have already lost over 40 men in Afghanistan. They finally arrive at this truck stop outside Kandahar city. It's a regular target of suicide bombers. There was a 500% increase in such attacks last year. The soldiers treat every approaching car as a potential threat. Meanwhile, Nicola is told there are no spark plugs for sale here.
There's no place here that we can buy them. We need to find out if there's a specific spot in Kandahar city that we can go purchase this stuff from.
So you want me to go into town and see if I can get parts, or like isn't there some sort of supply chain that the PRT can use to do that? As soon as we're stopped, we're pretty vulnerable. That's the problem. I'll pass that message on. Bye.
What do you say?
We're not going to Kandahar?
I knew that.
After 40 tense minutes, the spark plug mission is abandoned and the patrol heads back to Fort Martello, empty-handed.
There we go.
The Canadian patrol is still wary. If they sense an oncoming vehicle is a threat, driving too fast or too close, they do as they are trained and fire a warning shot. One of these shots causes a heavily loaded pickup to roll over in a ditch. An Afghan passenger is badly hurt. Our cameraman, Jim Foster, a highly trained former British soldier, moves in to help the Canadian medic. A medevac chopper is called in to airlift the wounded man to a military hospital in Kandahar. For Canadian Platoon 22, today can hardly be chalked up as a success in their campaign to win over the Afghans.
Another outstanding day at 2-2.
Clothing, and also you can let them know that we'll be returning the generators that we took from most of the villages around here.
Sure.
Yeah, for Sunday.
Nicola may be winning over some villagers, but she's having a hard time convincing her own comrades.
The villages just down the road here know that these guys got humanitarian aid.
Yeah.
And we know that there's 80 to 200 Taliban surrounding us right now. No one has come to tell us where those guys are.
Because maybe they don't know. You know,
but they know that humanitarian aid is here.
She's struggling with an ingrained military culture.
Have you got any information on them? Have they told you where the Taliban are?
Well, I haven't gotten that
leaders?
detailed. I haven't gotten into that much detail, right? That's where...
So they like you more any further ahead?
Well, we're getting the trust. That's one of the things that we come out here is to gain the trust of the population. If I understand your side too, where you're dealing with the Taliban, but just to come in here blatantly and just say like everyone's Taliban, everyone should die, and all this is just it's just completely wrong. Like, you have to have some education about coming into this place and knowing what you're getting into. It's going to look good, ticking the box for, you know, PRTs doing their job for the good village of Elback, you know, being the first VMO that the PRT is doing on this tour, which is another good thing.
But bringing the villagers to the base could make Fort Martello more of a target for the Taliban.